All right, up at number 10, we have Ravana. Ravana was a powerful and evil demon king with 20 hands and 10 heads. He was considered the most dreadful creature of the universe, but was one of the very intellectual demons who mastered all the holy scripts of Hindu mythology. He perished at the hands of Rama for abducting Rama's wife, Sita, to marry her. When Lord Rama terminated Ravana, he was known as one of the longest living demons. Up next, we have Mahishasur. Mahishasur was a demon king who inherited a buffalo's body with the upper body of a human. He was a devotee of Lord Brahma and eventually got a blessing from him that no man would ever be able to kill him and that only a woman could kill him. Mahishasur was extremely powerful, and his pride led to his downfall. Believing that he would be immortal and that no woman would be able to match his strength, he started a great war. However, the prophecy was fulfilled when Mahishasur perished at the hands of a woman, Madurga, who fought him to stop the war he had created. All right, up next we have Hiranyakshipu. Hiranyakshipu was the egoistic demon king. He wanted his people to praise him as a god and considered himself to be the center of the world. He believed he was the creator of the universe with uncontrollable supreme power. While his entire kingdom worshipped him, his own son Prahlad refused to worship him as the Lord and instead was devoted to Lord Vishnu. Out of jealousy, Hiranyakshipu attempted many times to end the life of his son, but was unsuccessful. Seeing this, Lord Narsimha, or a form of Lord Vishnu, tore apart the demon Hiranyakshipu and destroyed him. Moving on to the story of Mahabali. Now, not every demon in Hindu mythology was completely evil. Mahabali is an example of one of the more generous demon kings. Everyone in his kingdom was happy under his rule, and he was completely devoted to the Lord. Once a Vamana came to his kingdom and asked the demon king to give him a piece of land just big enough to be covered by his footsteps. Now, secretly, it was Lord Vishnu disguised as Vamana. Generous as he was, Mahabali promised to fulfill the wish of Vamana. And upon hearing this promise, Vamana grew so big that one of his footsteps covered the entire world, and Mahabali came to know that Vamana was really Lord Vishnu. To seek blessings from the Lord, Mahabali asked Vamana to put the next footprint on his forehead. But of course, as a result of receiving the Lord's giant footstep on his forehead, Mahabali perished. Up at number 6, we have the story of Raktabija. Raktabija was one of the strongest demons who had a very unique blessing that if even one drop of his blood fell on the ground, from that same drop, a duplicate of him would be born. This meant that it was very difficult to defeat or terminate Raktabija, so no one dared to challenge him. Every time Raktabija's duplicate was formed, his power would increase. Now, in a battle with the goddess Durga, Raktabija's blood spilled to the ground and thousands of Raktabija were born. Eventually, the Hindu goddess Kali came forward and pierced the demon, making sure to drink every drop of blood that spilled before it could ever hit the ground, and in essence, terminating him. Now, up at the halfway point in today's video at number 5, we have Narakasura. Narakasura was a demon king ruler disliked by his people because he tortured them. He had once kidnapped around 1,600 women only to torment them for his own pleasure. Soon his people could no longer take the torture and collectively approached the supreme being Krishna for help. Krishna promised that he would fight and terminate the demon king on their behalf. However, Narakasura's life could only end at the hands of a woman. So Krishna and his wife fought the battle against Narakasura, emerging victoriously and destroying Narakasura. And now we come to the story of Kumbhakaran. Hindu demon Kumbhakarna, or the sleeping giant, had an enormous body and was blessed with the ability to sleep for months. But once asleep, waking him was considered tremendously difficult. His brother Ravana, who was also a powerful demon, had kidnapped Rama's wife to marry her. When war broke out between the two, Ravana needed his brother's help to win the war. To wake him from a deep sleep, Ravana had 1,000 elephants walk over Kumbhakaran, waking him in time for battle. Now Kumbhakaran knew that his brother was doing wrong, and for that he tried to convince him to stop, but Ravana would not listen. Out of loyalty, Kumbhakaran fought against Rama for his brother. He destroyed most of Rama's army in the battle, but eventually perished at the hands of Rama. Up next at number 3, we have the story of Tarakasura. Tarakasura was an evil demon king who defeated his challengers and forced them to become his servants. He praised the gods and eventually received their blessings. However, he began to misuse his power and many innocent perished at his hands. As per his blessing from the gods, Tarakasura could only be defeated by the son of Lord Shiva, but at the time, Shiva had no children. However, after Shiva's marriage to Parvati, Kartikeya was born. Kartikeya then fought Tarakasura and destroyed him and all of his brothers. Moving on to the story of Surpanaka. Surpanaka was a wicked demoness and the sister of the demon king Ravana. She was considered very ugly and married to Dushtabudi. Dushtabudi was terribly greedy and wanted Ravana's kingdom. When Ravana heard about his intentions, he destroyed Dushtabudi, leaving Surpanaka a widow. A few years later, she saw Lakshmana and Rama roaming around the forest. She was attracted to them and of course wanted to marry them. However, both of them declined her proposal and she became angry. To try and win their love, she attempted to attack Sita, the wife of Rama, and the sister-in-law of Lakshmana. Because of this, Lakshmana chopped off her nose and Rama declared a battle against her. In the end, Rama emerged victoriously and Surpanaka left alone and in tears. And up at number 1, perhaps one of the most evil demons that I found was Putna. Lord Krishna appeared as a supreme personality on earth to destroy all the demons and protect his devotees. Putna was the demoness who practiced the art of taking the lives of infants through black magic. One day, Putna dressed herself as a beautiful girl and entered the infant Krishna's house to end his life. When Putna entered the room, she took Krishna onto her lap. The wicked demoness had smeared poison on her nipple and pushed it into his mouth, expecting him to die as she fed him. However, her plan failed, and instead, the infant Krishna sucked the life out of her. Eventually, the demoness returned to her normal form and perished, screaming in pain as her body extended up to 12 miles, crashing into trees and the village houses.
Starting at number 10, there is Yali. It is portrayed as part lion and part elephant and part horse as well. You'll see Yali sculptures all over South Asia inside of temples, and Yali is believed to have a lot of strength and ferociousness and speed exactly like a lion. Now the legends say that Yali roamed the jungles fearlessly, and that's why it's sculpted at the entrance of temples and homes to keep all sorts of evil forces away. Then we have, at number 9, Narasimha. So there's a character by the name of Hiranyakasipu, who was an Ashura king that had been given a blessing by Brahma that made him virtually indestructible. He could not die either on earth or in space, nor in fire or water, neither could he die in the day or night, and neither inside or outside of a home or anything, nor he couldn't die by human, animal, or god, or an inanimate object or an animate object. So to kill Hiranyakasipu, the god Vishnu actually took on the form of Narasimha, and he came out to kill him at twilight, which is neither day or night, on the doorstep of a palace, which is neither inside or outside. He used his nails to kill, which is neither an animate or an inanimate object, and he put him on his lap before killing him, which is neither on earth or in space. Pretty smart. Timangila comes in at number 8. Now Timangila is another huge aquatic creature that is mentioned in the Mahabharata. This is a creature that is so massive that it can literally swallow an entire whale. Now it's said that the Timangila could cause turbulence in the entire ocean whenever it goes out to look for food. So maybe that's behind all of these tsunamis and waves, maybe. I don't know. Next up at number 7, Navagunjara. This is a creature that was made from 9 animals. It has the head of a rooster and it's about 3 feet tall. It stands on 3 feet, each of which has an elephant and tiger, deer, and a horse. Now the 4th limb was a raised human arm that carries a lotus. And this creature further had a neck of a peacock, and it has a hump of a camel, and the waist of a lion, and the tail was the tail of a serpent. Whole lot of creatures mashed into one. Just imagine seeing this thing. Here's a popular one, Garuda, at number 6. Garuda literally means eagle, and it has a head and wings of an eagle, of course, and the rest of its body is the body of a man. Now it's known as the king of birds. Now the Garuda has references in several well-known scriptures. It's also the vehicle of the Lord Vishnu, who's one of the gods in the Hindu Holy Trinity. And Garuda is not independently worshipped, but worshipped along with Lord Vishnu. In pictures you'll see Garuda carrying Vishnu on its back. Kamadhenu comes in at number 5. Kamadhenu is a cow and is described in Hindu mythology as the mother of all cows. She's miraculous and she provides whatever is desired by her owner. Kamadhenu is often portrayed as the mother of cattle, and she's generally depicted as having a white color with several different deities within her body. And it's believed that all cows on earth are looked up to as the embodiment of the Kamadhenu in Hinduism. Ahi comes in at number 4. Ahi is also known as Vitra, and he's a huge dragon in Hindu mythology. Now this dragon brings misfortune everywhere it goes. According to the story, once Ahi drank all of the water on the earth and curled itself up to sleep around a mountain. Now the ancient god Trita, which was later replaced by Indra, killed this demon creature while it was sleeping using a thunderbolt. So water was then released and fertility and life was restored on the planet. Airavat comes in at number 3. Now how the story goes is like this. Airavat was born when Brahma sang 7 sacred hymns over 2 halves of the egg shell from which Garuda hatched out of. Now he also is a reason behind the myth that elephant can bring clouds. When Indra defeated Vitasur, who was a demon of drought, Airavata reached down to the watery underworld with his trunk and sprayed the water into the clouds. And then Indra caused the water in the clouds to rain down on the land, and then the drought came to an end. Sheshnag comes in at number 2. Now he's represented as a snake with 1,000 heads, and according to the legend, Sheshnag had 1,000 brothers who always caused some kind of trouble. So he got tired of them and he finally left home and went to the Himalayas, and he started meditating and observing penances for his brother's evil actions. Impressed by this, Lord Brahma offered him a blessing, but Sheshnag only asked to be a servant of spirituality. So Brahma asked Sheshnag to actually coil around the entire earth and hold it very steady. And it's said that when Sheshnag coils forward, creation happens, and when it coils backwards, then the universe actually ceases to exist. And then finally, here at number 1, we have Shiva's snake. The snake around Shiva's neck has so many legends regarding it, but one of the most popular ones is that when the cosmic oceans were actually being churned, the poison produced by it was also consumed by some snakes along with Shiva himself. Now, impressed by this, Shiva decided to accept Vasuki, who was the king of snakes, around his neck. And it also said that the snake helps to keep the poison in Shiva's throat and not let it slide down into his body. It's also believed that the 3 coils of the snake around Shiva's neck represent the past, the present, and the future. And the direction of its hood is towards the right, and actually signifies that Shiva's perpetual law of reason and justice is a persevering force in the universe to keep its natural order. Starting at number 10, we have Radha. Now, Radha in Hinduism became a loved one of the god Krishna during the period of time when he lived among the Gopas, or cowherds of Vrindavan. Radha was the wife of another Gopa, but was the most loved of Krishna's partners. In Vaishnavism, the female Radha is sometimes interpreted as symbolizing the human soul, and the male Krishna symbolizes God. Next up at number 9, we have Kamadhenu. So Kamadhenu is also called Sarabi and is the mother of all cows according to ancient Hindu scriptures. She is the cow of plenty who grants wishes and desires, fulfilling all that the human heart could even imagine. Cows are considered holy in India. Many of you know this. Why? Well, because they are the earthly embodiment of Kamadhenu. At number 8, we have Tulsi. So Tulsi or Tulasi, known as holy basil, is also known as Vrinda, and it's a sacred plant in Hinduism. Hindus consider it as an earthly manifestation of the goddess Tulsi or Vrinda, and many Hindus have Tulsi plants growing in front of their house or near their house, and this plant has many health benefits as well. Tulsi is especially sacred in the worship of Vishnu, and any disrespect towards Tulsi may result in you feeling the wrath of Vishnu come upon you. So at number 7, we have the Hindu goddess Ganga. In Hinduism, the river Ganges is considered sacred and is personified as the goddess Ganga. She is worshipped by Hindus who believe that bathing in the river causes the cleansing of sins and helps moksha, which is the liberation from the cycle of life and death. Ganga is depicted with 4 arms and sitting on a crocodile or surrounded by crocodiles. The Hindu goddess coming in at number 6 is the goddess Sita. So Sita is the consort of Lord Rama, who's the incarnation of Vishnu and Krishna, and an avatar of Sri Lakshmi, the Hindu goddess of good character, good fortune, prosperity, success, and happiness. She is regarded as the epitome of who a spouse should be and feminine virtues for all women. Sita is described as the daughter of the earth goddess Bhumi, and Sita is known for her dedication, self-sacrifice, courage, as well as her purity. We're halfway through this episode and the goddess Kali is up next. Kali is the Hindu goddess of death, time, and the end of the world, and is often associated with sexuality and violence, but is also considered a very strong mother figure and very symbolic of motherly love. Now, one thing about Kali is that she also embodies Shakti, which is feminine energy, creativity, and fertility, and is an incarnation of Parvati, which is the wife of the great Hindu god Shiva. Now, Kali is most often represented with a necklace of heads, a skirt of arms, with a knife dripping with blood. Saraswati comes in at number 4. She is a Hindu goddess of learning, wisdom, music, and beauty. She's also known most commonly as Bharati, meaning eloquence, Shatarupa, meaning existence, and Vidimata, which means the mother of the Vedas. She's also a big supporter of the arts and science and the wife of Brahma. Saraswati is also worshipped as the goddess of learning in Jainism and by some Buddhist groups as well. Only 3 more goddesses to go, and at number 3 we have Lakshmi. Lakshmi is a goddess that symbolizes good luck, and the word Lakshmi comes from the Sanskrit word Laksya, meaning aim or goal, and in the Hindu faith she is the goddess of wealth as well as prosperity, not just material but also spiritual as well. For most Hindus, Lakshmi is the household goddess and a favorite for women. Lakshmi is said to be the daughter of the goddess Durga and the wife of Vishnu. Parvati is at number 2. So Parvati is the daughter of the king of the Parvatas, Himavan, and the consort of Lord Shiva. She's also called Shakti, the mother of the universe. Each of her aspects are expressed as a different name, giving her over 100 names. When depicted with Lord Shiva, she generally appears with 2 arms, but when depicted alone, she's sometimes seen with 4 arms. Now in her hand, you can see her holding things like a trident, a mirror, a rosary, a bell, a dish, goad, sugarcane stalk, or flowers. Now the number 1 most powerful Hindu goddess is the Hindu goddess Durga. In Hinduism, the goddess Durga, also known as Shakti or Devi, is the protective mother of the universe. Being the depiction of the goddess of the universe, there's a whole lot of power that comes with that. And she's the protector of all that is good and harmonious in the world. She's depicted as multi-limbed and often sitting on a lion or tiger. Durga really battles the forces of evil in the world, making her the most powerful Hindu goddess. Kicking off this episode at number 10, we have Indra. So Indra was the most important god in the Vedic religion and later became a major figure in Hinduism and in Buddhism. Indra is often seen wielding thunderbolts and looks pretty fierce, but he's generally kind, giving peace and prosperity as well as delivering rainstorms to benefit the earth. He can also be called upon in times of war to give support. Next up at number 9, we have Hanuman. So Hanuman is the Hindu monkey god, and he's one of the most celebrated and worshipped figures in Indian religion. Now, there's many stories that are told of Hanuman's childhood as the son of Shiva and a monkey. Hanuman is often described as being very spirited, restless, energetic, and pretty mischievous. However, as an adult, that's when the monkey god Hanuman really comes into his own. At number 8 now, we have Harihara. So Harihara in Hinduism is the deity combining the two major gods Vishnu and Shiva, where Hari represents Vishnu and Hara represents Shiva. And Harihara is also called Shambhu Vishnu as well as Shankara Narayana, using the variants of the names of the two Hindu gods. Harihara first appeared in the classical period. Now, when you take a look at images depicting Harihara, you'll notice that on the right half it depicts as Shiva, and on the left is depicted as Vishnu. Alright, so number 7, we have Kartikeya. Now, Lord Kartikeya is also called by several other names like Subramanya, as well as Murugan and many other names. Well, this god is deemed as the son of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati. Kartikeya is the younger brother of Lord Ganesha. Now, Kartikeya is the Hindu god of war and is predominantly worshipped in South India, Sri Lanka, as well as Malaysia and Singapore. The next Hindu god we're taking a look at number 6 is Lord Krishna, one of the most widely revered as well as most popular of all the Indian gods, is worshipped as the 8th incarnation or avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu, and is also worshipped as a supreme god in his own right. Krishna became the focus of numerous groups which have over the centuries produced a lot of religious poetry as well as music and paintings, you name it. Now, he's a god of compassion and love in Hinduism, so a lot of people can relate to that. Next up, we have Rama at number 5, halfway in. Rama, or Ramachandra, is the 7th avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu, and he's most notably known for slaying the demon king Ravana. Lord Rama is considered by many Hindus to be based on a historical figure and is probably the most virtuous hero from Hindu mythology, and he, along with his wife Sita, are an example of true love and devotion inside of a marriage. Ganesha is in the next spot at number 4. So Ganesha, also sometimes is spelled Ganesh without the A at the end, and even sometimes called Ganapati, is the Hindu god with the elephant head. You've seen this before, and he's traditionally worshipped before any major project or business endeavor. 3 gods left, and Vishnu snatches the number 3 spot, and more people follow him than any other of the gods. Now, these followers are called Vishnavas, and they worship Vishnu specifically as well as all his other incarnations. Now, one thing to note is that Vishnu is part of the Hindu Trinity, which includes Brahma, the creator, Shiva, the destroyer, and Vishnu is known as the preserver. Vishnu is associated with most of the good that happens in the world, as well as acts as a balance to Shiva, acting as the destroyer. He acts as a preserver, both creating order and keeping the order. The second most powerful Hindu god is Brahma. Now, Brahma is the Hindu creator god. Brahma, due to his elevated status, is not seen as much in artwork and myths where gods take on human form and characteristics, but is rather generally portrayed as an abstract or metaphysical idea of what they think a god would look like if it didn't take on a human-looking form. In later Hindu epics, Brahma is no longer worshipped at all, and his myths are assigned to other gods, yet he always maintains his status as the creator god. Now, who is the most powerful Hindu god? You probably guessed it right now, it's Lord Shiva. Shiva, as I mentioned, is the destroyer. Lord Shiva is perhaps also the most complex of the Hindu deities. Now, when you see Shiva in temples, you can usually find him represented as a phallic symbol of the linga, which represents the energies that are necessary for life, not just in this world, but also life on a whole in the entire universe. Images of Shiva also shows his hair piled on top of his head with a crescent in it and a serpent around his neck, which represents Kundalini, or the spiritual energy within life. He's also famously portrayed holding a trident in his left hand. So